Yo, if you guys didn't know, I got some sad news to report in the world of boxing, and that is Sergey Kovalev will defend his WBO light heavyweight championship of the world against a guy that me and you never heard of. A guy called Igor. I'm not even gonna attempt to say his last name. It's like Makovich, something like that. Igor Makovich. Now, I never heard of this Igor guy. You look at his record, 21 victories, 9 KOs, so he's not a puncher, and he has 1 defeat. Of course, I have to ask the question, why is Sergey Kovalev defending his WBO belt against the guy I never heard of? I mean, the guy he won it against, Sombransky, he's more known than this Igor guy. I never heard of this Igor guy. Never heard of this guy. So he just gets picked out of obscurity to be a sacrificial lamb against Sergey Kovalev, because you know he's going to lose to Sergey Kovalev. This is not a competitive fight. Sergey Kovalev is going to blow this man out of the water. So again, I have to ask the question, why is this fight happening? Who asked for this fight for Sergey Kovalev? Who? I mean, what kind of first title defense is this? You're fighting someone that nobody heard of. I'm supposed to give Sergey Kovalev credit for this? Seriously. I mean, will you give him credit for defending his belt against this guy? I mean, there's so many guys at light heavyweight. You got, Arthur Peturbia. You even got that Demetrius Bivol guy that a lot of people are talking about. You got the guy that I'm really high on, the guy from the Ukraine, the Groznik. I think he's a good fighter. Sullivan Barrera. You got a bunch of light heavyweights. A bunch of, right now the light heavyweight division is stacked. Even Joe Smith Jr. I wouldn't mind seeing Sergey Kovalev versus Joe Smith Jr. That's a more credible win. Even though he came off a loss, because at least I know who Joe Smith Jr. is. You know what I'm saying? But to defend your belt, your belt for the first time against a guy that nobody heard of, what is this, Because let's say this was somebody else. If this was somebody else defending their belt against a guy who nobody ever heard of, y'all guys will be slaying him. So what I gotta do is I gotta slay Sergey Kovalev for defending his belt against this guy. I mean, I remember when Andre Ward, when he fought at light heavyweight against Paul Smith, Andre Ward wasn't a champion at the time. He wasn't a champion. But he had fought at light heavyweight against Paul Smith, who turned pro at, I believe, 168 or something. And he moved up to light heavyweight. And I think that was, one of Andre Ward's first early fights. And I remember a bunch of people giving him, shit for that. Because they were like, why is he fighting this washed-up Paul Smith at light heavyweight? And also, when he fought that Brandon, remember that Alexander Brand guy? Andre Ward wasn't a champion yet, and again, when he fought that Alexander Brand guy, a lot of people were giving him shit. Well, why is he fighting? Why is Ward fighting Alexander Brand? This guy's a bum. Well, now we gotta say that same shit that people were aiming at Andre Ward and giving Andre Ward. Now we gotta do that to Sergey Kovalev, because Sergey Kovalev is defending his belt. He's defending his belt against this Igor guy, a guy that you never heard of. If you're watching this video and you're a big Sergey Kovalev fan, you've never heard of Igor. You've never heard of him. So again, I'm asking the question, why is he defending his belt against this guy that me and you have never heard of? Answer it, please. Please answer me. Answer in the comment section below. I'm out.